Dr. Gold, good to have you on.
Great to be here.
Thank you, John.
All right, John, you got so many great enterprises. You've got music, you've got bars, you've got all sorts of amazing things. Tell us a little bit about why health and Gold Care.
Well, in this particular arrangement with Dr. Gold, I'm actually just a regular everyday patient. So I have my own health, but I have my wife, my 2 kids. And what we learned during COVID was that your basic family practitioner, most of them anyway, are not independent.
Yep.
They are taking kickbacks from Big Pharma, from Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. They're part of a bigger network of giant medical conglomerates. And you learn that when you go into your doctor's visit and you ask them, hey, why am I taking this? Because I read a story about that it's not the greatest thing for me to take. And maybe there's another way I could go about it with ABC. And with COVID, that would be things like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. Right. And a combination of vitamins. And I remember my doctor looking at me with this very arrogant look on his face and said, oh, you did your own research, did you? I said, I certainly did. I said, would you mind prescribing these things for me? They're not narcotics. They're not controlled substances. I would like to have these things and see if that might work instead of the vaccine, instead of the other things you guys are proposing. And none of them would fill those prescriptions. And if a doctor actually would call in that prescription, good luck finding a pharmacy that would fill it. So this is when I became friends with Dr. Simone Gold, who I consider to be an American hero. She stood up when tyranny was coming down like rain. She was dragged through the mud. She was besmirched, smeared, scorned across our entire industry of medicine. Yet she stood firm and she came forward and said, listen, guys, the truth is the truth. We got to tell Americans the truth. And she started goldcare.com, which is basically a conglomerate of a lot of independent doctors around the United States that regular people like myself and you, John, you, Amanda, can access now at goldcare.com to really either circumvent or be a second opinion to your primary doctor. And listen, I know it's been a few years since COVID, but as bad as I hate to ask you to do it, flip the pages back a few years and remember what you felt like when you were underneath that kind of tyranny. It was absolutely horrible. It was the most anti-American thing that's ever happened in the country. And so what Dr. Gold has put together here, in my opinion, is an ace in your pocket. I'm just a patient. I'm not a PhD like her. I'm just a patient. And she asked me to come forward and give a testimony. And I can tell you right now, my wife, myself, and all of my friends and family are now members of Gold Care.
That's very cool.
I love it. I love it. And John, I don't think people have to reach back too far in their memory to remember how abused Americans felt by their government, by the medical system, or maybe not abused, but just failed by them. Dr. Gold, I love what this organization is. I love the services it provides. Tell everybody what they get when they sign up for Gold Care.
We want this to be available to all Americans, so we've priced it very affordably. It's $10 for an individual, $20 for a family, husband, wife, and kids. And then you get access to all of the amazing information, webinars, educational classes that we do. We just did a class on Ozempic. We did a class on bird flu. We have these amazing educational professors and doctors that come and speak and give you all the truth, all the information, so you can make the best decisions for yourself. In addition to all of that amazing information just for joining, should you need a doctor, a one-on-one visit like John mentioned, we have independent physicians. They're not bought and paid for by anybody. You pay as you go for their time. You want 15 minutes, 20, 30, 45, or 60 minutes with the doctor, you pay for that, just like you might pay for a lawyer or an accountant. And then you know that they're working for you. It's kind of a modern twist on the old-fashioned practice of medicine. The only thing that matters is the doctor-patient relationship. We've also found independent pharmacists who will dispense the medications that you need. So we have a lot of people, for example, coming to us requesting alternative cancer treatments, things like that. We have a lot of naturopaths. We have a lot of functional doctors. We don't tell you what to do. We don't withhold information from you. We give you all of the information that you need. We're happy to do it. We don't want Americans ever again to be subject to such fear through medical public health crises that they give up their constitutional freedoms. So education is the way forward. Goldcare.com has it. We welcome everybody.